Alright, welcome to another daily markets review. Today is Thursday, February the 26th. Let's take a look at what happened today. I was saying in the previous video yesterday that I think there are two possibilities for today. One of them was that if we don't hang around for too long here, we would just be stuck here in the upper range without going to the upside much. And then the other is that we would, if we were chopping here or we would come here again, we would eventually break down and sort of stay in this range, either this one or that one. Well, these were wrong, even though we did break this level. This one right here just because of test 1, test 2, basically test 3, and then the fourth one just sliced right through. The prediction, it's not a prediction, it's my opinion. The opinion was wrong given the fact that we did actually break right here instead of just ranging. We just sliced through right here and came to this level right here. This is a illustration of why you should always manage your risk. So even though according to my system, my experience, if we have only one test of the level, once we go above it, we just get one bounce, one test. We still wait for the second one to fade as well. So the second one should have produced another bounce as well. It didn't, and because if the system would work 100% of the time, we would all be billionaires, right? But it doesn't, and for the times that it doesn't work, you should carefully manage your risk. For example, even though I knew this is breaking and I shorted right here from, I think I entered somewhere here, I don't remember, and took it here, and then I tried to buy, I tried to go long from here. I quickly realized, dropping down to lower time frame, I quickly realized, I think I went even to 5 minutes, yeah. At this point right here, you drop down to a lower time frame if you see that the price is not bouncing, and you're looking, you monitoring, you're trying to see what's happening, and once you see this candle go through, try to bounce, but not really. The other one doesn't go much higher and still keeps pushing through. And then this one opens here, comes here, and this looks just like lost the level right here, lost the level, came here to test it. Boom. It was at this point that I knew, right at this candle, that it's time to get out. So close the trade without losing too much, which is why I always tell you guys to practice and always be aware of the risks, always practice good risk management, always manage your losses, and be aware. My system that I'm sharing here regarding the support resistance, regarding the tests, the touches, in my opinion, it does work most of the time, more often than not, but for the times that it doesn't, because I still don't have an explanation of why would this level fail, but I do have a good reason for why I always practice risk management. I keep my losses small and I don't lose too much on days like this. I quickly cut the position and just stay away if I can't read the market, if I don't have the read on the market. So from volume profile, let's see, is this weekly? Yeah. I was talking about this gap yesterday. I remember talking about it, and I remember this is S&P 500 futures, but I remember on ETF, I did mention that this gap, it looked different yesterday because we just had another trading day today, but let's say somewhere here, I did say that we could go much lower, and this gap looks more worrying to me. For some reason, it stood out more on the ETF, and I did say we could go lower, but that still was not correct. We went actually much lower than that, and this high volume node right here, it didn't help as well. So let's quickly jump back to the futures. So even though there was a gap here, there was still high volume node somewhere here, and it was still sliced through. So if you were betting somewhere here as well, you would have gotten in the way of this. And the key thing is to, again, drop down to a lower time frame and see if it's just slicing through. Don't just, I personally don't just hold, I just get out of the way. So I cut the position, I get away. If I'm wrong, then I'm wrong. That's fine. Save your account, keep losses small, survive one more day. You will have more wins tomorrow, hopefully. So that's that. And then we basically came in here. There was, on the hourly, there was a good clean level right here from which we got the bounce. I think I entered somewhere here on the second, once it came back here, and then it came right here. I think this is the level I added. I think I entered somewhere here on the lower time frame. Then I closed pretty early. I don't remember, somewhere here. Basically, was not a great day, but I kept the losses small from here and then longing here as well, and recouped them with this little long right here. So kind of covered the account just a little bit, so not too bad. But let's take a look at what's gonna happen, most likely what's gonna happen tomorrow, in my opinion. From here, I think we're at a very, very interesting position right here, because we are at the high volume node of the weekly volume profile right here. If we do get any kind of meaningful rejection, I really do think we could go much lower here. And then this is the cluster that's waiting for us right here. Maybe even here. That's if we get a rejection. I don't know what's going to happen overnight. I'll see tomorrow, but that's that. If we manage to get over and to get over here, then we could try for this level, but then I think we would still come back down. And then let me make this one green as well. That's my read for tomorrow for the S&P 500 futures. And then on the VWAP, the weekly, also right here on the VWAP, it's going to determine if we start consolidating above, there is a possibility that we have a shot at going higher all the way here. If we fail somewhere here, we start going lower anyway here, it is likely that we will break this level and just slice through here, right? It's likely, not a guarantee. Nothing is ever a guarantee. I always said that, but possibilities I see from here are the following. Okay, and then let's quickly take a look at the ETF. The ETF, let's get rid of this. The explanation for the daily market review is the same. Even though we closed the gap, we ignored the high volume node, went much lower. There is somewhere here there is a level, maybe it was a high volume node or something. It was clear on the futures. That's why I like to read both. Sometimes, like, the ETF helped me be cautious of the fact that we could fill the gap right below, and then the the futures helped me find the level right here, which is not as visible on the hourly on the ETF. So I always check both, just in case sometimes I get different ideas from them, even though they're supposed to track the same thing, the S&P 500 index. I do have sometimes a slightly different read on these two. Here, I would say that, again, very, very similar. This is the high volume node right here. So far, we are below it. If we keep staying here in this area anyway here, if we continue that, we're most likely just going to get this. With this being the final target, this being the first target for me. Right? Because of this volume node right here, high volume node. And then if we somehow managed to overnight to reach here, right? Because this thing is not open. It's opening at 1 a.m. It's still 10:40 p.m. here Pacific, so it's still not open, the extended after hours trading. If we manage to do a lot of trading here, we could try for this movement. Well, maybe not that low, but for this movement, something like that. And let me quickly change this one for the red scenario, sort of more of a downside. And then the other one is going to be, I'm going to keep that green. Okay, that's my take for the ETF. That's my take on it for tomorrow. And then for Bitcoin, this one worked out a little bit better. The other ones didn't. This one did work out somewhat along with my expectations that if we would break this level, if we spend too much time chopping, we broke it right here around 6 a.m. Pacific. That's 9 a.m. Eastern. Then we contained within this zone right here. Kind of did the red scenario, the downside scenario, where we just ranged in between this level and this level. We got exactly that. We got the range, And let me get rid of the drawings right here and come up with a new scenario for tomorrow. So for tomorrow, from here, I would say this level is still very much in play. If we manage to get along and do something like that, it is possible we go along these lines. Let's make it green. And then if not, although it does look, I'm more inclined to think that this is what's going to happen. I'm more inclined to think that this is the likely scenario. But if we don't manage to do this overnight, or by the time you open the market, then it's 6 a.m., 9 a.m., wherever you are. By the time it's opening, then possibility is that we just go here. But that's my second preferred scenario. This is still the primary scenario, I'd say, for Bitcoin from here. That's my opinion. Just because of the way the price is creeping up. I think in order for me to be more inclined to think that there is downside coming after making this, it would have just straight rejected here and played along these lines, sort of, you see, creating more downward pressure, and then I would think that it's inclined to just break down. But from the way it's managing to just bounce and then come back down, but not as low as this one, so more strength, and then come up again and trying to break this level, looks like it's trying to break this level, I'm more inclined to think that this is the possible scenario. This is my preferred scenario for tomorrow for Bitcoin, that we just stay above this level. So that's that for Bitcoin. And then I'm still working on the video for the VWAP, the volume weighted average price. I'm gonna upload it sometime Saturday, Friday, maybe Sunday the latest, but it's coming. It's almost ready, just working on some more on it. And that's that. Thank you very much for tuning in, and I'll try to do another daily market review tomorrow. If not, then I'll just upload the VWAP, the educational video on volume weighted average price and how I trade it personally. All right, thank you very much.